I'm back, and while I wait for these bushfire cases, I thought I would continue the discussion on the types of bushfires we're seeing in our community. I'm going to look at some examples, share some observations, and be careful not to touch on the legal proceedings as the cases are still before the courts. Last time I talked about what I labelled restart fires. They were fires that had a pattern of starting, being put out, and then starting again. In this part, I want to look at fires which I'm going to label repeat fires, where the same fire happens but in different years. I have noticed we have fires that seem to start at the same location over the years. It's like the bushfire repeats itself. Let's look at some examples. We will start with recent bushfires and work our way back through the years. The first location is Abermain. The most recent emergency level bushfire happened there. It was called the Cessnock Road Abermain Fire. It destroyed homes, destroyed a business, damaged homes, and burnt about 850 hectares. It happened in December 2023. So here's the footprint of the bushfire, and it goes from Neath in the west all the way to Curry to the east. It started around the Charles Street Cessnock Road area and moved eastward through Western and all the way to Curry Hospital. Some observation of the area where it started. It's a bushy area with trees. There are houses in the area, but they are spread out. There's a gravel road through there which connects Neath and Abermain and Western. Of course, the nearby Cessnock Road is busy, but Charles Street mostly has local traffic, so you get a car here and there. There are a couple of side tracks in this area, and you can easily drive along into a really quiet area. There are power lines through this area. I'm just saying, just in case they're a source of ignition. The bushfire happened on the 14th of December 2023, and that's a Thursday. The fire starts in the middle of the day. What's the weather on the day, you ask? Well, the closest Bureau of Meteorology weather station is Cessnock Airport, so let's take a look. Leading up to the 14th of December, it has not rained for about 2 weeks, and really it didn't rain at all in December. Maybe there was a couple of mils earlier in the month. Daily temps are in their 30s. Being December, we're in summer, it's hot, and it's the bushfire season. The weather observations at 3 p.m. on the day of the bushfire, which is right in the middle of the emergency, were the following. Temperature was 39.1 degrees. Wind was 26 kilometres per hour from the west-northwest, and relative humidity was 17%. So that's hot, breezy and dry. It's good weather for a bushfire. From where the fire started over near Neath, and with the help of a west-northwesterly wind that would have sent the fire towards homes in Western and then directly towards the hospital at Curry, where the fire actually ended up reaching. Also, a total fire ban had been declared on that day, and an extreme fire danger rating was given. It was reported that it started as 3 fires close together that joined and went on to burn 850 hectares. I have not yet found a report on what caused the fire. No one has been charged. However, there could be an investigation that might be happening as we speak, so there might be charges soon. I have no details. Rewind 7 years and 1 day to the 13th of December 2016. It is more tricky to find data from 7 years ago. I'm Gen X, so if I have to go to a library and look at old newspapers, I will. The fire in 2016 starts in the general area of Cessnock Road and Charles Street and burns eastward towards Curry Hospital. However, it doesn't make it to the hospital. It looks like it burns about half the footprint of the 2023 bushfire. It impacts on homes in the Abermain and Western area. I couldn't find any details on the cause. I couldn't find if anyone was charged. Now, I said the western half of the 2023 footprint burnt. The rest of the footprint, the eastern half, including the area around Curry Hospital, burnt 42 days later on the 24th of January 2017. On that day in January, it's reported it's a heat wave, and the conditions described are ideal for a bushfire. Also on that day, witnesses saw the arsonist emerge from the bush before the fire. Yes, someone was charged with that bushfire soon after. In fact, 2 people were charged. And not just that fire, but 3 other bushfires lit earlier in January around the same area. Those were fires from Loxford, Chinaman's Hollow and Curry. So that's 4 counts of the bushfire offence. The situation was, the 2 charged are brothers. One entered the bush and lit the fires. The other brother didn't, however, was very much involved. Both pled guilty. They were sentenced in September 2019. That's a year and a half after the fires. The brother that lit the fire was sentenced to about 5 years jail with a non-parole period of about 3 years. The other brother that was involved but didn't actually light the fires got a more severe sentencing of 7 years jail with a non-parole period of 5 years. Why? The media reports state that the other brother had a higher degree of culpability. Why does he have a higher responsibility for the wrongdoing? The other brother was a retained firefighter. It's reported the deal was he would respond to the bushfires his brother lit as part of his job as a firefighter and therefore get paid. By the way, I have no idea if these two are still in custody or are out on parole. So in summary, we're seeing a bushfire from the 2016-2017 bushfire season essentially get repeated in our current bushfire season, which is the 2023-24 season. Waiting for the plane. I'm going to mention one of our current cases, however, I'm not going to go into it too much. I would like to revisit after the legal proceedings have finished. One of our current defendants allegedly lit a fire in this area. It doesn't burn the entire footprint. I understand it burns a smaller area. It was allegedly lit in the middle of the 2023 winter, not in the middle of summer like these previous examples. The entire area burned 6 months later. By the way, the defendant is under house arrest when the entire area burns in December 2023. I'm going to stop there about the current case. I would just like to ask a question. My question is, would talking about or highlighting or informing people about what happened in 2016-17 season, would that have had an impact in the 2023-24 bushfire season? In 2016-2017, the current defendant would have been about 11 years old, and I'm assuming an 11-year-old is not following court cases about bushfires. I'm wondering if that 11-year-old growing up, actually really the rest of the community as well, with that shared knowledge and experience from the past, would that have impacted on his decision to allegedly light the bushfire in 2023? Rather than the bushfire story being reports in pieces on individual events or individual court cases spread over years with data sort of scattered in the papers and the internet, is there a better way of telling the bushfire story by telling the story of the bush and what happened to that bush? If a person knew they would be added to a list of arsonists associated with that bit of bush, would that impact on their decision making and deter the behaviour? I'm just sharing you ideas because perhaps the current 21-year imprisonment punishment isn't having enough impact to deter some people. I have another example of repeat fires, which I might do as another part. I hope you find the conversation about bushfires interesting. Thanks for watching.